If you're thinking about moving to Portland, chances are you have a lot of questions. Today we thought it'd be fun to do a Q&A style video. We're going to talk about the top 5 questions we get from clients moving to Portland.
Let's go. I'm Aaron Cullen and this is Brandon Cullen, and together we have a local real estate company right here in Portland, Oregon. I'm really excited to share with you the top 5 questions clients ask us all the time when they're considering moving to Portland. Why do I think this is a great topic? Because obviously you're probably considering moving here, and hey, what better way than to hear what other people are thinking? And chances are they probably have some of the same questions you do.
One thing to say just from the top is that everyone's wish list and lifestyle is going to be completely different. And so the best way to answer your questions is to really get on the phone, get on Zoom with you, talk about your life, what you're hoping for, and then we can really curate our responses.
Absolutely.
And also, if you have more questions, feel free to put them in the comments. We could do a future video on those questions or just reach out.
Yeah, great idea. Our information's right down there in the description area. So if you're thinking about moving out here, go ahead and reach out. We can't read your minds, so go ahead and book a call with us and we can get those questions answered directly. All right, let's jump right into it.
The first question, what is the safest place to live?
You know what, I get this question all the time and it's not an easy answer. Here's what I recommend. You start with typing in Google Portland crime statistics. You can look up all the crime stats in the Portland metro area. Unfortunately, you do have to go to the other cities to look up their crime stats, but the Portland maps has a great statistics there of the crime. You can kind of look where it is. But overall speaking, the suburbs and the smaller towns outside of the city of Portland are gonna have lower crime stats in general. So if you're looking for that, very low crime, even low petty crime stuff like graffiti and vagrancy issues, you're probably going to be looking to the smaller towns outside in the Portland metro area. Some of the towns that rank the lowest in crime according to the stats are Lake Oswego, Westland, Sherwood, just to name a few. Then if you want to go across the river into Southwest Washington, Camas is going to chart the list over there.
And I think it could be a little overwhelming to look at a crime stat list. When you aren't familiar with the neighborhoods in a place, it just looks like a foreign language to see all of those. But I think it's a really good start to at least narrow down the types of areas that you're looking at.
Because there really is a big difference between the city of Portland and the higher commercial districts. And in general, say just take for instance Hawthorne, which is a popular neighborhood. It's like 100% walkability. You're close to public transportation.
Hip, great restaurants and stuff like that.
Exactly. And so there's a lot of people that live in that area. A lot of locals hang out there. It's not just like a touristy area. You're gonna get higher crime. If you pull up the stats, you're gonna see like higher crime along the commercial districts. So that's just a good rule of thumb that anywhere you have those high trafficked areas for commercial businesses, that's where you're typically going to see most of the crime of opportunity.
Question number 2. I'm concerned about taxes. Should I live in Vancouver, Washington or Portland, Oregon?
Great question. A lot of people want to move to Vancouver because there's no state income tax, where Oregon has one of the higher state income taxes in the US. It ranks right up there with California. The plus about the Oregon side is there's no sales tax. So in California, that's about 10%. So you're saving that sales tax on anything you buy. That's even anything you order online. It's not quite a wash. Taxes are still quite a bit cheaper, especially if you're a high earner in Vancouver. So that is a good pro to maybe look in Vancouver, say, versus Portland. But if you say work in Portland and you live in Vancouver, you're gonna pay state income taxes on that income that you earn, in Oregon. So something just to be aware of. But if your job is not based in Portland or Oregon, then hey, maybe Vancouver is a great option for you, if you're not focused on, being closer to the city amenities of Portland.
Like you said, very quickly though, it is going to depend a lot on your income bracket.
That's right.
So that's just something to be aware of. Like we said, all of these questions are going to be unique to your situation. And for a lot of people, it doesn't really matter to them. All things being equal, it may be less expensive in Washington. You just have to consider everything about the lifestyle you want and the amenities and your just day-to-day quality of life.
That's right. And I think day-to-day quality of life in the neighborhood you live in is the most important attribute to where you live, to me personally, versus having that perfect house. But everybody's a little bit different. I would rather have a shorter commute to, say, where I work.
I think it's easy to think, oh, I can just sort of suffer through a commute to save money, and then a year into it, it'd be like, ugh. Yep. What did I do?
But if you want to get more granular on those, go ahead and reach out.
Okay, this one is a little along the lines of the safety question.
Number 3.
Question number 3, what is it really like in Portland now? Is it as bad as the news says?
Yeah, I get this question a lot just in discussions, and I have several other videos about this topic. If you guys haven't seen those, go check them out. And I do one about every 3 to 4 months to 5 months, just so you can get a little visual sense and an update on that. But I need to do another one here pretty soon. So it's a great timely question. I'm gonna try not to be too nuanced with this. Besides, you can look at the crime stats, but it's something like a feel you get, and everybody interprets it a little bit differently. But having lived here for the last 5 years, people are usually talking about downtown in general. Most people don't live downtown. If you're living downtown, you're living in a condo, most likely, or you're in like Nob Hill on like kind of the west part of downtown where they have houses over there. In general, it has gotten a lot better. No, it's not as bad as people make it out to be on the news. But again, I have had clients come here and they say, hey, you know what? You know, in like parts like Southeast Portland, it's like way worse than I thought it was gonna be. I wanna live, you know, more in the suburbs. And I get other people that are like, hey, I don't know what the news is talking about. It's great. It's not that bad at all.
If your wish list is more of that small town, suburban feeling where the crime stats show that it's actually very low crime and very safe, this is something that you can just like cross off your list as a question.
Right.
And
not an issue at all.
And you could even potentially choose an area and make an offer on a home without even coming to visit. We have clients that do that.
Yep.
If you're looking at some of the more urban neighborhoods and you want a little bit more of that walkability and that higher density city feeling, then I really think it's important to come and spend some time in those neighborhoods and make sure that you feel really comfortable, because it is very pocket by pocket, just like in any city. I've lived in San Francisco and in Los Angeles, and you know, it's very much the same there. You could really have a totally different feeling just a handful of blocks away. And so I really think it's important to spend the time and make sure you feel comfortable. Don't take our word for it if you're looking in more of those urban areas.
Yeah, great suggestion. Yeah, if you're looking to be in one of those, you know, urban neighborhoods in Portland, in one of the quadrants, come out, check it out, especially if you've never been here before. Come make a visit. Overall, there's no question the city has improved a lot. There's a lot of great programs that the city's doing.
Just anecdotally, my little brother was visiting us a few weeks ago, and we took him into the Pearl for an afternoon, and we got coffee at barista and then walked to a neighborhood park, and it felt so nice down there and beautiful. We had our little kids with us, and it definitely felt like an improvement over just a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, 100%.
My little brother is from like a very nice suburb in the Midwest, and I know that he would have been a little on edge if it felt at all sketchy, and you know, it didn't.
Yeah, he loved downtown and didn't have like one comment about feeling unsafe.
Versus my other younger brother coming to visit us in LA when we lived in West Hollywood, and we had like police helicopters circling overhead, and he was definitely like caught off guard by that.
All right, question number 4.
What areas of Portland do we recommend for families?
Great question, and I do get this one all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and just list a bunch of my top favorite that I like for families. Number 1 is gonna be Lake Oswego. I'm a little biased because that's where I live and I have a lot of experience here. Number 2, I'm gonna say Westland, and then I'm gonna say Southwest Beaverton. I'm gonna say Sherwood. In the city of Portland, I'm gonna say Laurelhurst. I'm gonna say Alameda, and I'm gonna even throw out there Hawthorne. I really like that area a lot, especially if you want that super hip, lots of stuff going on and it's a great price point in there as well.
Ladd's Addition, right adjacent to Hawthorne, would probably be even like a notch for families.
Absolutely, yeah. Ladd's Addition is amazing. There's actually a lot of little neighborhoods in there that are just great. And another one is even Irvington. And I know that one you're starting to get a little bit more expensive in Irvington because the houses can tend to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, I think, again, this is really going to depend on you and why you're moving here and the kinds of things you like to do. One of the great things about Portland is that the neighborhoods have such a unique feeling, and you could really spend your day-to-day life just in your little pocket of town for the most part, or in the small town or suburb that you're living in. And so you really have to know what you want that to feel like. If you want an older home with charm and more diversity, then being in like Alameda or Irvington or somewhere in the city is going to feel really good. We have some friends who recently moved from Lake Oswego to Alameda because they wanted more of that like city feeling, and they have a couple of businesses that are in Portland, and that's just really where they wanted to be. We have some other friends that moved up to the Portland area from Southern California a few years ago, and they moved into a higher density area in the Northeast, and it felt like too busy, too chaotic, and they're looking for like a slower quality of life. That wasn't the right choice for them. And so depends on what you want.
That's another great reason to reach out to us to talk about the different neighborhoods and exactly what you're looking for in those parameters.
Last question. I'm coming to Portland to visit and get a sense of it and look at some homes. What should I do while I'm there for fun?
This is a great question. Some great things to put on your list. And if you do a little Google searching, you'll probably come up with a lot of these as well. If you have kids, I'm gonna throw some in there. You could do with kids or without kids. Japanese gardens, especially if you don't have kids, the kids are a little older, they could definitely probably enjoy that as well. I'm also gonna throw in there day hiking. Do some trails like in Forest Park and pick one that takes you up to Pittock Mansion. Then it has views over the whole city of Portland, which are just breathtaking, amazing, especially, if it's a clear day. Even if it's a cloudy day, it's still really pretty.
Get some really good coffee while you're here at Hart or Cova or Barista, one of the Portland classic coffee places. Hit up a brewery. I think, again, this really depends on like, what do you like to do? If you are moving up here to be in the outdoors, do something on the Willamette River, go hiking. And if you are moving up here for like walkability and city feeling, then spend an afternoon like strolling on Hawthorne and eating at a few different places, going out for brunch. If I am looking at a city, I want to know like, what grocery store is going to be in my neighborhood, and like, what's my daily life really going to be like? What playground am I taking my kids to? And then like people watching and getting a sense of, do I belong here? So just really like dive in and imagine that you're a local and try to get a feeling for it.
And if you have kids for an afternoon, you want to take a break from exploring the city or house searching, go take them to OMSI, just east of downtown across the Willamette River. That's a great little stopover if you want to do that for like a good 2 hours. It's just like very hands-on type of science play museum. Another thing that you could do with kids is take them to Multnomah Village and to the little main street that they have there. It's over 100-year-old main street, and they have an awesome toy store there, Thinker Toys. And then you could get them a little drawing pad or activity toy, and then go take a walk over to Level Brewery that's on that same street, and you could sit outside. You can enjoy your beer while your kids have like a little snack.
I love the idea of going to Multnomah Village because it kind of gives you a little bit of the best of both. It's walkable, it is urban, it has shops, it has a really great bookstore.
So summertime, you can rent a paddleboard over here at the George Rogers Park in Lake Oswego. It's right on the river. High school kids will like rent out. They have a little booth set up where you can rent out a kayak or a paddleboard by the hour. I recommend, hey, just go rent one for an hour or two and just get out on the river and explore some of the nature just that way.
And you will feel like, ooh, I'm in Oregon. Like you're surrounded by these evergreen forests. The river's so gorgeous. You're seeing wildlife. I think that's a really good opportunity to get a sense of that. And then if it's summertime, go to the farmer's market in the area that you're staying. People watch, get a snack.
All the towns and neighborhoods have farmers markets. So again, just put a Google or shoot me an email or a text and I can tell you which ones are in what day in your neighborhood. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and reach out. Again, my name's Aaron Cullen. This is Brandon Cullen, and we have a local real estate company right here in Portland, Oregon, and we can answer any of your questions about moving here. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next one coming up right now.